long tangent setting up his timeline. He shakes his head no when saying the time his mom came home.
My mom puts dinner on the table. I'm asking you. No. Oh, okay. And, oh. No, forget that.
In a few seconds, you're going to witness some of the most shocking interrogation footage that we've ever received.
I think you're hurting pretty bad. Hurting? I'm thinking you ain't know nothing. You telling me you understand, we make mistakes. No. Here, let me spell it out for you. N, O. Relax, Ethan. No, forget that. I did do it. You know what? Don't you know we're all put on this earth to reproduce?
The incomprehensible story behind it will prove to be all the more horrifying.
I know how to use a knife real well. Real well. One right here. One right here. One right here. Yeah, mambo. Mambo Italia. Yeah, mambo. Next time you get arrested, wear George Warren. Or at least wear that Raider shirt.
On January 24, 2007, the quiet confines of Boise, Idaho would be changed forever when 42-year-old mother Judith Wyndham is found gruesomely murdered in her own home. Her 16-year-old son, Ethan Wyndham, would ultimately be the one to stumble across the horrifying scene. And so begins one of the most disturbing investigations we've ever seen. However, as authorities sit down with the distraught teenager, they can't help but wonder if his terrifying story is just a ruse, hiding something much more sinister. In the early morning hours of January 25, 2007, Craig Wyndham is frantically woken by his wife. She tells him that his son, Ethan Wyndham, has arrived at their house in hysterics. Ethan lives with his mother, Craig's ex-wife, Judith Wyndham, also known as Judy. Ethan had left his home that morning, setting off to his father's house on foot in the freezing winter temperatures, all for one terrifying reason. Craig quickly gets out of bed and runs to meet Ethan in the living room, where his son can barely speak. But when he finally does, he utters a disturbing set of words. His mom, Judy, is dead. Craig immediately calls police, who were dispatched to Judy's address, as well as to his own home. However, not a single person could have anticipated the absolute nightmare that was just beginning to unfold.
Hi, Ethan. Dr. Stevens. Were you at your mom's house tonight? Were you sleeping?
I was on my couch.
On your couch?
On my chair.
Okay.
I sometimes fall asleep watching the movies.
Okay, I understand. And where was your mom at when you were sleeping or you were hanging out?
In her room.
She's in her room?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw her? What time?
At 9 o'clock, I believe. I came home from my friend Matt.
Okay, and that's when 9 o'clock tonight?
Yeah.
And that's when you saw your mom?
And I saw her and she was in her bed.
Okay, was she fine and awake when you talked to her?
Yeah,
she was in her bed?
Yeah, she was okay.
You just try to take it easy, and we're going to get paramedics over there, and we're going to get police over there and see if she's okay.
If you stay calm and breathe good, you should be okay.
Ethan seems to struggle to comprehend the unbelievable sight that he's just witnessed, but authorities are eager to speak with the 16-year-old, and he has quite the story to tell. They quickly take him in for questioning while another set of officers make their way to Judy's home on Normandy Drive. What they discover is disturbing beyond belief.
There's blood everywhere, guys. It's right over. It's going to be a head.
There's dry blood on the floor of the bedroom.
Gunshot. Yep. Somebody. Yep. Yeah. 100? Yep. Yeah. There's a knife in the head, guys.
There's pictures of a couple of kids on the kitchen cabinets, and there's a bunch of cards for St. Luke's medical clinic. Like, all these kids are freaking whacked out on some kind of medication. Yeah, and these are the boys right there. That one right there, that's your suspect. The bigger one. Probably this one.
Searching for the best Canadian cannabis, weed, reefer, Mary Jane? Look no further.
It's something straight out of a horror movie. 42-year-old Judy has been murdered in her own bed. Authorities later reported that her face was disfigured beyond recognition, and it appeared that someone used a shotgun in the incomprehensible crime. However, police will soon discover that the deranged killer used more than just one weapon. The following interrogation has never been seen before. It's been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor, a licensed clinical psychologist, and a former detective, former licensed polygraph examiner, and former hostage negotiation commander and instructor. The detectives now sit across from 16-year-old Ethan, and they read him his Miranda rights. In the state of Idaho, police are generally free to interrogate minors without any limitations, beyond constitutional provisions that would equally apply to adults in a similar situation. The minor doesn't have to have someone present to represent their interests prior to questioning, until and unless the minor specifically makes a request for counsel, or the presence of a parent or guardian. In that case, an interrogation would have to stop upon the request. The detectives ask Ethan if he would like his father to be present during the interrogation, but Ethan states that he would like to continue without his father in the room.
Okay, can you kind of tell me what happened tonight?
I was sleeping in the chair in the living room. You know, lights are off and everything. I got woken up to this kind of, that really loud, just thud kind of noise. And, I have no idea what that is,
The detectives jump right into questioning Ethan without spending any time building rapport. This can be very detrimental, as rapport building is not just about getting the other person to talk, but also to build a foundation of a relationship, which can then minimize the person's anxiety and get them to relax, open up more, or even to trust the interrogator.
I saw my mother earlier, around 9 o'clock, which made me fine right before I started watching a movie. And I watched the movie and, fell asleep, but in the chair. And then I came, saw that, it was all the lights were off in the house anyway. But, just kind of got a glimpse that something was going on, and,
What's going on, Ethan?
the guy was whacking her and stabbing her.
It's noteworthy that Ethan not only says the guy was whacking her and stabbing her, but that he also motioned the actions. These movements were remarkably in sync for him allegedly just seeing the actions.
We've been to the house, okay, so we kind of have an understanding of what happened. And like I told you before, we kind of know a little bit about everything that went on tonight before we even came in to talk to you. You understand that, Ethan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ethan's fast and repeated head nodding here is likely an indication of anxiety. However, he may be reeling from his traumatic experience of finding his mother dead.
We know quite a bit about you and your mother and your relationship.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do, Ethan, is kind of rewind a little bit to the beginning, to tonight, all right? When you're at home with your mom, and kind of have you start over, because I think what's happening is you're kind of going down the wrong path. Okay.
It's no secret that Ethan and his mother had a tumultuous relationship, to say the least, but authorities have only scratched the surface of the horrifying nightmare that was hidden behind closed doors.
Did you go to school today?
I did.
On Wednesday?
I did, but I had to go home early because I was having these weird spasms all over my body,
Even though he's answering the questions, Ethan is still pretty closed off, with his arms tightly crossed. Though we can't totally see his legs, it looks like they're also crossed and aimed away from the investigator, indicating that Ethan has his guard up and isn't super engaged with the investigator. The investigator should have engaged in rapport building before he started questioning him, because it may have prevented him from being quite so closed off.
I didn't really want to go around the full day, taking a weird step and, kind of just having a weird spasm in my legs. So I called up my dad, had him back home.
What happened after that, Ethan?
After that,
After you woke up sleeping from this afternoon,
you know,
when did your mom come home?
I don't know, mainly around 3 or so. And just sitting there in the chair, just kind of watching some movies.
What kind of movies were you watching?
One that I've seen over and over again.
Like what?
Happy Accidents.
Happy what?
Accidents.
Happy Accidents?
You ever seen that?
No. So you and your mom were watching these together?
No. She wasn't, you know.
Ethan goes into a long tangent, setting up his timeline. He shakes his head no when saying the time his mom came home, as well as that he was watching some movies, indicating a slight brain and body disconnect.
I don't know, mainly around 3 or so, watching some movies.
Notably, he thinks about it, and then names a movie he said he's seen over and over, which is an easy way to keep his story straight if he's lying.
Sometimes she'd come, you know, and actually do watch some movie.
Did she take a nap yesterday, being Wednesday, after school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ethan had a rather interesting taste in film, but there would be one movie in particular that he favored above the rest. Authorities will soon learn exactly which movie that is, and Ethan's terrifying reasons as to why he loved it so much.
Then what happened?
A little later, I worked out with my friend. He lives across the street in Bag.
Are you ready to discover the secret to affordable premium smokes? Tired of spending an arm and a leg for government?
Usually I work out in my house because I got a local gym set up in my house. But, you know, I just decided to work out with him because he said he wanted to work out. And, you know.
You're a big guy, and it looks like you've been working out pretty hard.
Yeah. I just mainly only worried about arms and shoulders, but
What the girls like to see.
yeah, right. It's the chest.
Ethan's recent interest in fitness was growing into borderline obsession. Over the last several months, he had gained a significant amount of weight. According to official police documents, the teenager was consistently drinking weight gainer and may have been using steroids, although there was a strange explanation behind his sudden newfound hobby. As he continues with his story, he states that he returned home from his friend's house around 8:30 that night. Judy was reportedly asleep in her room at this time. Ethan decided to sit down in his chair in the living room where he supposedly watched several films before falling asleep. He would apparently be woken to the horrifying sounds of his mother being gruesomely murdered.
Then what happened, Ethan?
Then what I told you, I woke up.
Right.
What I told you is a referral statement, and Ethan delivers it pointedly. In contrast, though, he does a few exaggerated head nods and a slight one-shoulder shrug when saying, "when I woke up,"
I woke up.
which indicate his anxiety and low confidence in what he's saying. Along with the intense eye contact he's making with the detective, it's clear Ethan is really trying to appear honest.
Ethan, understand if the whole thing's okay.
Yeah.
We've been over to your house. All right. We have a pretty good understanding of what happened.
Yeah.
I'd like you to tell me what happened, Ethan.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to be honest with me and tell me what truly happened today or yesterday, okay? Can you do that, Ethan?
Yeah.
Can you do that for me? I don't want you to tell me something that's been made up or anything like that. I want you to tell me the truth.
I
Can you
understand.
do that, Ethan?
Yeah, I understand.
So you want to tell me the truth about what happened?
I told you.
Did you notice that? Ethan repeatedly nods his head again once the detective applies more pressure. As he talks, his hands and arms are moving like they should be involved with his words, but he's keeping them tight across his chest so that they can't betray him. He very rarely drops the barrier and allows his hands to be expressive as you would in normal conversation. Watch when he does use his hands, though, as they're often in exaggerated, slightly unnatural movements, as though he's thinking too hard.
I told you.
Well, no, you didn't tell me the truth yet. I need you to go ahead and tell me the truth.
Well, then what's the truth?
I understand you have some issues, okay? I understand that you've had problems at school. I understand that you've had some fights with your mom in the past. But that's normal. I mean, that's what teenagers do, right? Sometimes we don't get along with our parents, and that's understandable. Okay, but I honestly need you to rewind what happened yesterday. So I need you to tell me, Ethan. See, that's the part. Listen, that's the part you're not listening. You're not understanding.
I'm listening, but you're
Right.
telling
No,
me.
you're not listening because
I am, because you're telling me
right.
that you want to hear, the truth.
No, I'm telling you, I want to hear the truth.
And okay, then I want to hear
Why don't
your understanding is.
I know. Fine. I'm not going to tell you everything that I know. Okay, that's not how the process works. All right.
Ethan is attempting to get the detective to tell him what they know and what evidence they have so that he can get his story to match and not give away more than he has to.
What I want to do is I want you to tell me. I want you to be an honest man. Okay.
I'm trying to be, but you're telling me I'm lying.
Tell me exactly what happened there. Okay. I think you feel bad. Okay. I'm not calling you a liar. Okay.
No,
I'm not calling you a liar. No. I'm not calling you a liar, Ethan.
You just did it.
No. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm saying I think we need to go back and revisit what happened so we can walk through, in your words, what exactly happened over there.
Ethan sticks to his alibi, but the detective is under the impression that there's something he's holding back. And by the end of this shocking interrogation, a crazy and completely unexpected revelation will be made. For now, Ethan is confronted by the other detective in the room.
I've been working homicides for 30 years. And there's a couple of things that I need to tell you. That everybody makes mistakes. Okay? And I want you to listen to me. You've made a big mistake, and we understand why. I want you to listen to me first, okay? We already know what went in there. Here's something you need to understand. Number one, you don't know, look at me. You don't know that there wasn't a surveillance van outside that house that we've had planted there working on somebody else that has a 360-degree camera facing on your front door. Nobody went in or outside of your house, period, until you left. Nobody.
Despite the interrogator not sounding particularly convincing here about the 360 camera, Ethan's facial expressions give him away. It's like the look that a child gives you when you're calling them out on a lie. He clearly thinks he's got it together and has a good story, but he doesn't, and it shows all over him, especially in his incredibly conspicuous and exaggerated facial expressions.
Secondarily, I know your fascination with Mr. Ellis and the whole thing there. So I read his book, and you changed the answering machine. Are you listening to me?
The detective references the author Bret Easton Ellis, who's most notable for his 1991 novel, American Psycho. Ethan is a big fan of his work. However, his fascination with the fictional story has transformed into an unsettling obsession. The story is set in Manhattan in the late 1980s, and it follows the life of a mid-20s wealthy investment banker who lives among the Wall Street elite.
This mistake is costing Amazon Prime shoppers big. Are you still using Prime? Because at this point,
The well-educated and meticulously well-manicured Patrick Bateman, who narrates the story, earns his fortune by day, but is a ruthless serial killer by night. In addition to its novel form, a satirical psychological horror film was released in 2000. Of course, to Ethan, it was much more than just a book or a movie, as you'll see.
He's not calling you a liar, but what he's saying is we know what happened didn't happen. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You hurt your mother. And I know you
Why
feel
would I
bad.
do this?
Well, that's what we're here to do.
Why would I?
That's what we're here to talk to you
Why
about.
would I hurt her?
Listen to me.
For
Everybody
no
makes
reason?
mistakes.
For no reason?
First of all, do you know the difference between right and wrong?
Child, of course I do.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Okay.
After Ethan makes more attempts at trying to get the detectives to tell him what they know, he has a massive shift in his behavior. Prior, he seemed okay, but he's suddenly talking differently and even using a different accent. He's also dropped his barrier. One thing to note is that he appears very uncomfortable with the detective being in his personal space, and he's backed into the corner with no easy access to the door. However, this is a strange reaction to of being asked if he knows the difference between right and wrong. It doesn't make logical sense as a trigger for the average person, so perhaps it's something that's been said to him in the past.
The surveillance camera outside absolutely shows nobody went in or outside of your house. Do you understand that?
Okay.
What am I telling you?
That you guys didn't check the back.
The only person, no, there is no back. The only person that went in,
There's no back door.
it's locked with the thing. The only
There's
person
no.
that went in-
I locked that back door.
Listen to me, the door was locked. A bad guy can't lock the door on his way out.
I locked the back door.
You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. If you say you know the difference between right and wrong, then a judge is going to have to make a decision on what to do.
With this answer, Ethan throws his hands in the air, known as a gravity-defying gesture, which is a bit of an odd reaction. He's clearly agitated, with his body completely turned away from the officer. The officer is intentionally interrupting his lie so that he doesn't get entrenched in it. But it does seem like this officer is doing a lot of the talking and not allowing Ethan to fill in the story.
You understand that? He's going to say, Detective Doug and Detective Smith, when you had the ability to go talk to Ethan, was he remorseful in what he did? Did he feel bad about what he did, or did he go, you know what, some other guy...
I already know these things because I'm getting charged with battery.
The 16-year-old was a top-notch student at Bora High School, where he took several advanced placement classes and excelled in his academic career. However, his favorite subject to study was that of the criminal mind, serial killers to be exact.
And what you need to do now is take a step back and tell us why you hurt your mom. She did something to you, or this was some fascination that you have here watching these movies that you acted out.
Do you not understand this book?
Okay, tell me about this book.
This is a book. Okay, have you never even heard about books like these? Have you never even heard about books like these?
Tell me about it.
Do you not understand the concept
Tell me about it.
of the idea of the business world itself?
Tell me what he does.
Why don't you look at Patrick Bateman as a business himself?
Okay.
What does he do? Anyone that gets in his way, he knocks out. What do big business in Wall Street? What does Walmart do? The mom and pop shops, they knock it out. You gotta understand, I'm an AP English. I've been analyzing this stuff beyond belief because this is my author study.
It's clear that Patrick Bateman's fictional success in the world of Wall Street banking has had a profound effect on Ethan, and he seems to think he's of the same mindset. However, his other likenesses to the character are far more disturbing.
Because, you know, I understand what he's doing. If you've seen his books, he's making
Here's
fun
something
of
I
it.
do understand. Here's something I do understand. I think right now you're scared.
I'm scared.
Yes, you're
No,
scared.
I'm wondering.
You're scared of what you did, and you're afraid of what's going to happen to you. A. And B, you're not willing to admit that what you did.
The detectives have missed a couple of opportunities to build rapport with Ethan, which could have aided their interview. For example, they could have tried to relate to him over his interests. It seems like they're pushing too quickly without rapport, and at this point, it's just making Ethan more and more angry. Because of this, we're missing key parts of Ethan's background, such as why exactly he started bulking up.
Do you have a conscience? Do you have a conscience? Do you feel bad about what happened in there? I'm not sure you do. I'm not sure you feel bad about what happened in there, Ethan. It's eating you up inside, isn't it?
What's he? Yeah.
What you did to your mom?
What did I do with my mom?
What you did to your mom was you hurt her very bad.
Hurt her very bad.
Yes, you
That
did.
lady ain't living.
No, she isn't. Why isn't she?
That ain't hurting very bad. Why would I kill my mom? You know what? Okay. The door was locked. Hello. Do you not understand that when I get home, I lock the doors? So you have some 360-degree camera in my house, huh? Is that what you're saying? That you can see that someone coming in from the back?
Now, listen,
You're not.
The detective had tried to minimize, and it backfires, resulting in Ethan getting upset that he doesn't acknowledge that his parent is dead. For being so young, Ethan is challenging the detective in a very bold manner. He hasn't been emotionally broken down by the interrogation process and seems to be trying to hang on, even though he appears to be struggling with his speech.
Fingerprints? Those are my weights.
I didn't hear anything about it. Like, what happened to the weights?
The weights? Did you not see that I saw her? I saw the food. I saw her.
Relax, Ethan. Relax.
No. How am I supposed to relax when I saw what that person did to my mom?
Okay, what happened to the weights?
What happened to the weight?
Yeah.
You really want me to go into this?
Ethan is doing a lot of self-soothing leg rubbing, and he also finally squares his body to fully face the officer. This can sometimes mean someone is engaged in the conversation, but in this case, it's a very aggressive stance, and he's clearly anxious. What's interesting, though, is that when Ethan hits his hand on the table, it's way before he starts talking, which shows that his nonverbals are mistimed again.
You really want me to go into this?
His emotion, while still slightly elevated, is suddenly much flatter than it was previously. This rapid emotion change generally indicates that it was a fake display. By repeating the questions asked by the detective, it seems like Ethan is trying to buy himself time to come up with an answer.
Well, I want you to relax.
How am I supposed to relax when someone crushes her skull and rips out her brains with a weight?
Yeah, so tell me how they did that.
Wix is your platform to perform on.
How did he do that? What did I tell you what that was? Hello? Do you not see the blood splatters? Can you not make it? I thought you were a detective. If you're such a detective, why can't you see blood splatters? I saw everything. When I turned on the lights, dear, oh my God, you gotta be effing kidding me. And now you're trying to pinpoint this on me?
It's a little strange and telling of his actual emotional control that he self-censors here. Few teens are going to actually censor themselves in the heat of genuine anger. This more than anything indicates this display is an act. He's not actually angry. He's acting angry.
You know what? Tell your prosecutor that I don't have remorse. I don't care.
You don't have any remorse for this?
I don't got no remorse for you. You know? But you ain't got nothing better to do with your time? Huh? You listen to my dad? Is that what my dad tells you? You want to know what? My dad doesn't even work. Holmes is tripping. If you don't understand, that guy right there don't give a care about me. You want to know what?
He does care about you.
Really?
It would have been better for the detective to agree with him rather than disagreeing to further damage rapport. Or if not agreeing, then he should have asked for more information. However, this may be the root of where his anger is coming from here. He thinks nobody cares about him and sees himself as a victim.
He booted me out of his house the other weekend because his wife thought I didn't appreciate them. Except I watch the kids all the time.
I know you do.
No, you don't. Don't tell me you know you do. You don't even know.
What makes this interrogation all the more disturbing is that the detectives are only getting a small glimpse into Ethan's short temper. But his family is all too familiar with the teenager's intensifying anger. As investigators sit down with Craig, Ethan's father, he provides a brief insight into the troubled life that his son is leading.
What I feel like I need to tell you right now is past.
Oh, God! Ethan,
Well, that's something we're trying to piece together, sir. I'd like to chat with you. I'd give you some time here to kind of collect yourself.
I'm ready to chat.
He said he'd been wandering around all night, or walking around all night, and then I called the police. He's sent dead, and I couldn't get out of him, but I can tell you the first thing that came to my mind is he's responsible.
Apparently, Ethan initially started to walk to his father's house, following his mother's death. However, he apparently hitchhiked the rest of the way. When he arrived, Craig's wife opened the door. She was shocked to see that not only was Ethan incessantly crying, but he was also wearing a Kevlar vest. The protection gear made his visit all the more suspicious. When he spoke with his father, Ethan told him that they should not go to Judy's home, as her face was beat down. Horrified, Craig immediately called the police. Sitting down with investigators, Craig mentions that Judy had confided in him on several previous occasions that she was scared of her own son, and not for just one reason alone. As it turns out, Ethan was living a shocking double life, and behind closed doors, he was anything but your typical teenager.
My mom puts dinner on the table. She gives me nice clothes. I have no reason to do nothing to her. I have no reason to do nothing at all. That woman...
Can I ask you this, Ethan?
What do you want to ask me? Huh?
Perchance, is there another part of Ethan? I can tell there's a part that...
A part of Ethan.
Another part.
Another part. Wait, I saw alternate personality? I'm going to tell you, Holmes, MPD don't work. MPD's got more than a bunch of personalities.
Ethan makes some very strange mouth movements, like he's talking faster than he means to and isn't sure what to say. His fake laugh ends as quickly as it begins and signals a rapid shift in his expressed emotions. This is pretty similar to the Patrick Bateman laugh in the movie, and is one of many indications that Ethan is trying to act like the character, though the similarities only become eerie as the interview continues. Unfortunately, the interrogation methods are being poorly implemented, and the officer is jumping all over the place. Ethan is literally laughing at all the interrogation techniques because they're not being executed properly.
You want to do some little schizophrenia in my head, Holmes? I'll tell you, because I know all the symptoms. Don't tell me there's another part of Ethan. Ethan is Ethan, and that's it.
Ethan has shifted the way he's talking, which is a marked change in the interrogation. By saying MPD, he's referring to multiple personality disorder, but the detective probably just means how everyone has a good side and a bad side. Ethan takes it to the extreme, so it sounds completely insane, which is a common tactic among individuals trying to be deceptive and is a form of manipulation. The tactic is to take something small and innocuous and turn it into a mountain so you can deny it without actually lying. Ethan was facing a multitude of personal struggles, though he doesn't mention it. In 2006, the year prior, he was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and struggled with anxiety. He was prescribed various medications and began seeing a counselor who became very concerned in regards to his condition. They believed him to be a psychopath. Technically, psychopathy isn't a separate diagnosis from antisocial personality disorder, though a psychopath is part of a small percentage of individuals with ASPD who would be at the extreme end of the disorder spectrum. However, as he's 16, Ethan would not technically qualify for ASPD, but in extreme circumstances, individuals may get labeled as having a personality disorder with antisocial characteristics a bit younger than 18.
And I think you're hurting pretty bad. Hurting? Yeah. I think you're already.
Oh, hold on, let's go. No, first thing about me.
Go tell me about you. Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I'm thinking you ain't know nothing.
Okay.
You telling me you understand, we make mistakes, you know what?
Do you know how many Ethans I've talked to that's been sitting in that chair in 31 years of police work? Thousands of them.
Really? Congratulations.
Do you know how many Ethans have sat right there and told me, I don't know nothing about nothing, and I put them in prison for murder? Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. Yeah.
Every one of them, and you're not going to be an exception.
Yeah.
Normally, the detective shouldn't remind a suspect of the impending consequences at this point in the interrogation. What appears to be happening is that the detective is getting irritated with Ethan and taking it personally. He's not cooperating and he's being pretty disrespectful, and it almost comes across as threatening.
Yeah, you want to know what prison is? I sit in a cell my full time.
You okay with that?
Are you dumb? Do you not understand how that system works? That's one of the dumbest correctional systems I ever heard of. Holmes, I could sit in a cell for the rest of my life and be happy and know your name.
Okay.
But no, you think you're somehow smarter than me. You've been on the force for 30 years. You know what? I talked to your game detective too. Guy was an idiot. thinks I'm from some gang or something, trying to tell me I like 50 Cent. You guys don't listen, you detectives. It's like, you know what? I could have saved us 20 minutes there of your BS by telling you I don't like 50 Cent. I don't really like his full club scene. All that gangster scene, it's all just music. It's all just show. But no, Holmes is trying to tell me what it is because he's so smart.
Typically, an innocent person gets angry when they're being accused of something they didn't do, but Ethan is unusually combative. Rather than being a sign of innocence, Ethan's faked and exaggerated anger is an indication of his immaturity and apparent social skills deficits. Innocent people get truly angry, and real anger or emotion doesn't flip back and forth like a switch. Ethan switches it off and on. As well, a mature liar knows that getting angry makes people not like you, and that affects whether they believe you or not. It's why typical liars and killers don't react as much to accusations and interrogation, because they know it will affect their chances of being believed. Teenagers, for the most part, haven't had the time to perfect it. As well, Ethan has learned aggression and anger gets him his way. Something that most people usually learn doesn't work as effectively as sweet-talking by the time they're a bit older. However, this is of no surprise, given his past. Although Ethan was mostly compliant to those in positions of authority, most notably as teachers, he didn't show the same level of respect for his mother. Their relationship began to deteriorate when Ethan became controlling and would apparently bully Judy into getting what he wanted.
Are you ready to learn the secret to cheap Canadian cannabis? At Bloom Supply, we're more than just an online
For instance, he told his mother that he would like to use the master bedroom as his own, and supposedly forced her into moving her belongings into the smallest room. He then took over the living room, where he apparently pushed all of the furniture to one side of the room, so he could place his chair in front of the TV. Ethan would mostly use it while playing video games and watching movies. On the occasions when he didn't get his way, things would supposedly escalate, and in a most violent manner. Ethan's brazen comments and interrogation show his lack of respect for authority, which is a red flag indicating possible conduct disorder or oppositional defiant disorder. He could be diagnosed with either of these disorders at his age, and they're precursors to ASPD.
This isn't going to go away.
I already know it. It's because this is your guys' stuff, whatever.
This is going to go away. Yeah, we're going to make a decision on what to do with you when we leave this room.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think we should do with you?
You actually think I want to let me go?
The officer walked right into that one. Ethan seems to be running this interrogation. Notice the shift in his hand gestures to more lively movements. This is a marked change that he's feeling more confident.
Just let me go. Let me be.
Let you go where?
Wherever.
That's not
What was after? You just asked me. What should we do? What kind of question is
So you think for what you did?
What I did? What I did?
Because I told you.
What I did?
Nobody goes in the front.
Because no one gets in the front, no one goes in the back.
And it's just you.
Really?
It's just you and your mom.
Oh, okay. So,
Actually, nobody.
So, what we could be saying here is,
You're going to be arrested for murder.
there's no one that could be hiding in the garage. No one could be hiding nowhere. No, of course not. Because you guys are all smart. You guys got taps all over my house or something.
Are you ready to listen to me now for a minute?
No.
Will you?
No.
Will you listen to me for a minute?
Did I just tell you twice? No.
If perchance I brought your dad in here, would you talk to him too?
Oh, yeah, right.
Would you?
Yeah, right. Did you not even hear me? I said no. At least how many times? Does that not compute? No. Here, let me spell it out for you. N-O.
Would you explain this to me a little bit?
Next, the interrogation moves on to the topic of one of Ethan's greatest fascinations.
There's an ideal of Patrick Bateman, but he's simply not there. Think of it this way. Business. He's a business. He's a big corporate business like Walmart.
It's just right here, movie. Is that American Psycho? Is that a movie?
Yeah, it is.
Does something happen in that movie? Did somebody get hurt in that movie?
Are you trying to tell me what I don't know,
I'm asking.
no?
I haven't seen it.
Of course, but if you don't understand,
Did somebody get hurt in the movie?
it's a book too.
Okay, so
You have to know the book before you can watch a movie. Same thing with any book.
I guess my question is, help me because I haven't seen the movie. Who gets hurt in the movie?
People that get in his way
And how is it they get hurt?
any way they can.
Does he hurt his mother?
Does he hurt his... Man, he doesn't even mention his mother barely. In the movie, it doesn't mention his mother nothing. In the book, it mentions mother, but their family's dysfunctional. If you don't follow his reading, you don't understand nothing about nothing.
Tell me how you see your family in relation to this. Do you see your family?
I don't see my family in relation to that.
Ethan's favorite movie would turn out to be the film adaptation of his most treasured book, the controversial yet popular American Psycho. Ethan soon began to emulate Patrick Bateman's character. He apparently forced his mother to buy him expensive skincare products like those that Patrick Bateman uses in the movie. In addition, Ethan supposedly bullied Judy into buying him a white comforter for his bed. Patrick Bateman also had the same one. There was also Ethan's obsession with fitness, yet another similarity between him and the film's main character. As well, Ethan's mention of Patrick Bateman's family being dysfunctional is a further indication that he relates to and feels a strong affiliation with the character. As the interrogation progresses, the detectives will learn that there were even more ways that Ethan tried to become Patrick Bateman. You'll notice that Ethan also has the book Without Conscience, too, and some other fairly advanced clinical and forensics books. Either he's trying to understand himself, or he's been planning.
Why would I go to my dad's house and go and talk to him about this?
You know why?
If I did this?
You know why?
Why? Because I'm supposed to feel guilt?
Because you feel bad.
You haven't talked to my therapist, have you?
Can I?
Can you? Hell no! And you know they didn't get out on the
I feel sorry
side
for you. I really do.
You feel sorry for me?
I really do.
I feel sorry for you.
Okay. Well, I'm not the one that's going to be charged with this.
Yeah, but you're the one that's living in a world where you're controlled.
Nobody goes
No,
on
why-
that.
Really? Because you got cameras on that side?
We haven't processed the scene yet to see exactly what you left in there.
Really?
Yeah, we haven't.
What?
I'll tell you what we will do. We will go process it, and then we'll come back and talk to you and tell you what we found, okay?
What did you find in there?
Is that it? It's only fair to go do
I already tell what you found in there. I covered up everything.
Okay.
I covered up everything because it's a horrible sight. I tried to wipe off the blood.
Why?
Why?
Why wouldn't you call the cops and say, my mom's hurt?
Because what's the first thing that's gonna happen? You guys are gonna accuse me, like you're doing right now.
Relax, Ethan.
No, forget that. Because you know what? You're not thinking of other alternatives. They could escape through the side window.
The detectives do have to consider that Ethan may be telling the truth. If there was an intruder, it's possible that they could have committed the heinous crime and escaped through a window. But investigators find this to be unlikely, especially given the fact that it would have been a random killing. Judy was not the kind of person to have enemies. The dedicated mother worked as a special education teacher at Eagle High School. Family, friends, and her fellow co-workers described her as the epitome of kindness. However, Judy's life was full of trials and tribulations. She and Ethan's father divorced after having 2 children together, and in the year 2000, she was reportedly hit by a car while walking. The incident would almost claim her life. It was following her recovery that she went back to college and pursued a degree in special education. Wanting to help others overcome their disabilities, she took on what she felt to be the most rewarding job, teaching. To think that someone would want to take her life was almost incomprehensible. But evil comes in all forms, and it knows no bounds.
Just ask me what you want to find.
Well, we're going to go out and take a look and see what's in.
Tell me what you want.
I don't know what there is to find.
In what room?
All of it.
All room?
Every room.
My room.
Every room.
My room. On my white sheets?
Can I get you a glass of water? Want a glass of water? Want a glass of water?
I didn't drink water. I already drank enough water today.
Would you like some more?
Why would I want some more? I already tell you.
Here's
On my
what-
white sheets,
We are going to go
There.
I'm saying, we'll be right back.
on my white sheets. No, you don't want to listen?
Yeah, I'm listening.
On my white sheets, there's a stain of black from the weights.
Okay.
I love that bed like no other. I made it white for a reason. Now, wouldn't I wipe that black off if I did that myself?
It's bad timing to interrupt and leave when Ethan is ready to talk. This specific officer hasn't been doing well with Ethan so far, and he probably should have left earlier. However, though this tactic may seem counterproductive, Ethan is escalated, and the officer hasn't done anything to de-escalate him, and he's still not responding well to him. Walking away, letting Ethan calm down and trying again with someone else is actually the best course of action at this point. As you'll see, they'll next try a good cop ploy and try to calm Ethan down. This attempt will have a bit more success.
You talk about Ethan. What black stuff on your sheets?
There's black stain on the end of the bed.
Calm down now. On your... There's
On
black
the end of the
stuff.
bed that are made by the weights. I saw it when I'm getting out.
Okay, well, just relax, man.
No, Charlie here thinks he's number one top cop.
Okay, he's gone. I'm not understanding. There's from the weights. So you know how they create that black stuff.
Yeah, they make a black stain.
Weights on and off and changing all the time.
They made a black stain.
On your sheets, but how did they get on your sheets?
Charlie, whoever comes in there puts it in my room to make less noise.
What kind of weight was it? Was it a weight or a barbell or a dumbbell or?
What they did with it was they put it as a barbell, and they put one of the things right here.
A collar? I don't call it for a barbell.
No, one of the spinny things on this end.
Oh, I got you.
With 2 5s or 2 10s. I can't remember. I think it's two 10s. I can't remember.
So two 10s on each side.
No, on one side.
1 10 and then a 10, so 20 pounds.
One side that has weights on it, and they club her.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
How'd they get on your bed?
How did they get in my bed? All they have to do is just bring the weight, put it on my bed.
Okay. Are you saying to put the weight together on your bed?
Well, yeah.
Okay, you're a smart kid. Okay, trust me.
Yeah. Then why?
You know what? And you're not a kid. You're a young man, aren't you? And you're a very smart young man.
I'm smarter than anyone I know.
This may be a touch of narcissism showing, or it may be Ethan mimicking Bateman's character. At this point, it's hard to know what is actually Ethan and what is the character that he's wholeheartedly embraced as his model.
And you know what?
Street smarts.
I would agree.
Street smarts, I got better than any stupid idiot. Everyone I know, everyone's too easy to figure out. You know how they figure out what they want, what their needs are, what to say to them.
The ability to understand what people want and the right things to say and do to manipulate them to do what you want is a trademark of a budding psychopath.
You had to learn a lot of that, right? Because you didn't.
No, I didn't. I just had to watch them, and I could see
You
it.
learned. You're a smart young man. You learned this stuff yourself, didn't you? You read books. You
They
educated
had to
yourself.
read notebooks to
Learn this
figure
stuff.
out people.
Right.
Street smarts come just naturally.
Natural to you.
Street smarts are called street smarts for a reason. People either have it or they don't.
Right.
People around here don't.
So you get educated on the street.
I get educated by being myself.
Right.
And I can see people. I can see their needs, their wants, their desires. If I want someone to even, decide that I want them to, maybe like them or do a favor for them, I can easily say what they want to hear. I do that all the time for people. I cover for my friends all the time when they cheat on their girlfriends. I tell them exactly what they want to hear.
Okay.
Fun. Fun to be, because people are stupid.
If Ethan's rambling is true, this is the definition of someone with antisocial traits. Individuals with antisocial personality disorder have a keen awareness of people's needs, their wants, and their desires. Ethan likely feels a bit more comfortable with this detective, so he's essentially divulging important information about his personality and his ability to be manipulative and to lie. It's disturbing the way he views other people just by what they can offer him, but this is also very classic narcissistic traits. People's value lies only in what they have to offer. This could also be another moment of Ethan mirroring Bateman's character. Ethan has brought up how he uses people, such as his mom spending money on him, that his friends are only useful to him for better weights. He also claims that he's smarter than everyone and is always telling people what they should do, and points out that he sucks up to teachers and attempts to manipulate them.
Let's just forget about the cameras, okay? We're getting so hung up and so mad about these cameras, all right? Yeah, let's just forget about it, all right? Let's talk about your relationship with your mother.
You guys want to look through all the clothes I have a lot of nice clothes. She buys me nice stuff. My colognes and my colognes, Armani Code, that's $70 right there. Jean Paul Gaultier, I spent $100 on that and some deodorant. She spends nice money on me.
Okay, right. No one's saying that she's not doing that, okay?
Yeah, but now you're telling me that I'm killing her for the Dear God fund, that I'm so dumb I get influenced by books.
You know, there's a lot of people, a lot of things that influence our lives. There's a lot of things that you know that, right?
People who get influenced are stupid.
Do you influence your friends a little bit?
My friends?
Yeah. You should, because you're a nice guy. And so, people, if you have friends, all your friends, everyone kind of influences each other, right? That's why you have friends, because you have things in common. That's why you're friends.
I ain't got no things in common with my friends.
Nothing at all.
I hate my friends.
You live way. Yeah,
that's because he has better waist. He just wanted to work out. I just needed a better, since he's got a better waist system, why not take advantage of it? That guy's a little guy. He said anything different from what I said, he knows I'd take him.
Do you think that influences him a little bit, though? That if he knows you can beat him up?
I don't care if I influence my friends because I don't like my friends.
Well, what I'm getting back to is you said that only stupid people are influenced.
My friends are stupid.
Okay.
My friends are dumb.
I don't know your friends, so
they're idiots.
I don't know your friends, so I'm not going to say whether
you know what? Anything, when I give them a piece of advice or tell them what they should do, they never listen. It always turns out the way that I told them that it happened if they didn't listen. Like, oh, well, you're right. Well, it's like, no, duh. I know how the world works. I'm not freaking retarded like you guys.
Even though it seems like everything is making Ethan mad, he seems to be intentionally pulling the detectives into arguments to distract them, and it's working really well as a great deflector. They're caught up trying to argue points with him and engaging in a power struggle.
So you make all your own choices. No one influences you at all.
Man, I can develop little portions, the way I act. I develop that.
Sure.
But I don't change my whole character on that. I can change any character into any character I want to be. Because that's easy to do.
Right.
Typically, when an interrogator offers a theme, such as being influenced in this case, they would move on from it if the suspect doesn't agree. However, the officer may be trying to agree with them, so he will calm down and move on. He's also trying to stroke Ethan's ego, since he's probably figured out by now that Ethan has narcissistic and antisocial tendencies. One thing that is particularly interesting is that this disdain of his friends also is reflective of the Patrick Bateman character. It also sounds like he's getting this from his books on psychopathy. He's molded himself into this person and just built his world around it. People with antisocial traits are often considered chameleons in the sense that they can adapt themselves to practically any situation and can warm up to other people easily in order to manipulate them and get what they want. It seems that Ethan did just that. However, when it came to his mother, he supposedly felt that intimidation alone would be enough to control her.
During the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness, join for $1 down, $10 a month. Offer ends December 15th.
According to police documents, Judy would become upset on various occasions when Ethan's friends were at the house. Supposedly, a few of the high schoolers would use substances, and Judy did not approve. However, Ethan grew angry and regularly argued with his mother, even reportedly punching a hole in one of the home's walls. But this was just the tip of the iceberg.
Your buddy over there, hasn't done his homework on, just because I watch movies, does he not understand that most of my books, my reference books, are all on psychopaths?
Okay.
The psychopathic mind.
Right.
Because I've always been trying to figure this out. Who are some of the greatest and smart, actually Dahmer was a sissy. Gacy. Dear God, how many people did he kill? What was he? He was a hired deputy at times. Clown. Knew different people. Ted Bundy. He had a great life. This man did so many things. Great lawyer. Represented himself really great. Even the judge. But he said, I'm sorry to do this because I would have loved to have you practice in my court.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said that. The guy worked with the Republican Party for a little bit. He worked with some of that. He did a lot of things that were just out and amazing of character. But it all continues down to one thing. How does his mind work? American Psycho, that's just because that's what my author study is on. We got to do a big project on this author. I like Bret Easton Ellis. He's a good writer. But all this stuff, I don't know the name they call for it, the writers call for it, but it's all about making fun of the way certain things are, because, it's truly there, but, they kind of take it to a point of, you see, this is truly, absurd.
Though these are accurate observations, it seems that Ethan has taken the contents of the story to heart.
But just because a person reads a book doesn't mean that's how their life is going to be.
Let me ask you this, Ethan. Have you ever heard of cases before, or people before? And you've read a lot, so you probably have. Have you ever heard of people before who have been influenced by, by books, by video games, by movies?
Everyone's heard of the Columbine shootings and all of that.
I'm not talking about that.
That was all those, but people use those as scapegoats. Anyone can use that as a scapegoat.
Right. Sure.
It's just they're too dumb. Of course they want to hurt someone, but they're just too dumb to create their own way.
Okay.
That's how it is. People just don't understand it like that.
That they're not smart enough to create their own way. They have to be driven by somebody else.
They have that drive. They're just too dumb to actually make it happen without seeing something or watching something. Any of those stupid Quentin Tarantino movies, dear God, I hate that guy with a passion.
It seems like Ethan is going off on a tangent, but the detective switches gears and further questions him regarding his relationship with his mother.
My mom and I have been getting along for a while now. There's been times where, she's gotten on my nerves because she said my friends were too loud or something like that, and she, shut your door.
That's normal.
But, and we got into arguments like that. But whatever my old man's saying about her calling him up, man, she wouldn't even call that loser up.
Have you ever had arguments with your mom and your dad had to come pick you up? You stayed the night with your dad?
Yeah, she does that all the time, but that's because she's a whiny baby.
She gets into the drama.
Yeah, she's a whiny baby. My dad comes up the next day, and I was ticked. Because I'm watching, this is when we had DirecTV. I was watching the Longest Yard, the old version. I never saw that before. I can't rent that. He makes me turn it off. He's trying to talk to me. He calls up an officer because I walk out. I'm like, you know what? You're full of crap. Because he's trying to tell me how I should feel and tell me how life is. The guy hasn't even been around since I was 6. He's been gone since I was 6. I made him cry when the officer left. No, I made him cry before, but he tried to hold it in. And when I went outside, the officer was like, well, it looks like your family's about to cry. I'm like, yeah, they kind of sometimes tend to do that. He's like, well, you know, you seem to be a nice person, and, you know, you seem to just, you know,